That's the most 2022 thing I've ever seen. Like, literally.
Dear Shandy. Welcome back to a brand new Dear Shandy Bachelor recap, listeners. Hello, Andy.
We're back.
You're vibrating with excitement.
Yeah, this is exciting. It's been a long time.
Yeah, it has been a minute. I don't know why we're excited exactly.
Well, there's nothing to be excited about except for just being here with our Shandies.
Oh, yes. Yeah. It's like a reunion.
Yeah,
yes.
Coming back to school after summer break.
Exactly. Hello. We all have new lockers.
I'm getting beaten up. But
No.
other than that, it's good. Yeah,
No.
only in ninth grade, though. It's when I was a senior, I was good.
You got beat up in ninth grade?
Not beaten up, but teased to the point where it felt like I was being beaten up.
Oh, because you switched schools.
I switched schools. I was a newbie. I was getting hazed in ninth grade.
Oh.
Yeah, by New York City kids, and they were bad. They were mean.
This is why you have so much character today.
Maybe, yeah. I owe it to them.
Okay, so it's season 27, episode 1, the big premiere with Zach Shallcross.
Yeah. I just realized his name sort of reminds me of motocross, which is the exact opposite of his personality.
There's a lot of things that are the exact opposite of Zach's personality.
We'll get to that.
But first, housekeeping. We are clearly not at home because we are in Edmonton, where I am in the middle of an opera.
Yes.
Okay, so before we get going, overall thoughts.
I think our overall thoughts will become known very quickly.
Wow. Okay, so you don't want to give anything away.
No.
Okay, so the big premiere kicks off with tearful previews, the usual. Jesse, when explaining why Zach was crowned bachelor, he says he's just a genuine guy looking for love and love alone. And that is exactly why we made him bachelor.
It's a great reason.
Yeah, I'm sure that if he were black and was a genuine guy looking for love and love alone, they also would have made him bachelor.
That's correct. There's no difference.
We learn a little about Zach's background, but even this, okay, I've got to say, because usually in this segment, you finally get a little bit of information about the bachelor. Like he was maybe bullied in high school, or I don't want to make it sound like it has to be a negative thing, but just something about them. All we really learned about Zach was that he played a bit in a band, and he had a stint as a DJ, and his name was Versace.
Versace. That tragedy marked the last time he ever attempted a joke.
Oh,
that was it.
It's true.
Too scarring.
But seriously, like what else? Like, why is it that even in the segment that is meant to show us more of his personality because he's incapable of showing it himself, why is that all we got?
I don't know. Maybe that's all there is. Maybe they dug and dug. They had like a team of researchers and they're like, all we got is Versace.
Well, Versace, I mean, it's deliciously bad, but I don't even know if we can credit him. Like his friend could have come up with that name.
And also the question is did he do it ironically?
Versace?
Yeah. Was it purely ironic? Because if there's even a drop of non-irony in there, is a problem.
I mean, of course it's ironic, but it's just so like, it's like that painful, like really obvious ironic.
Right. But I'm saying, was it like, oh, I got a really funny thing? Versace, was it's like Versace.
100%.
As opposed to like, let's do something so annoying and ridiculous that everyone hates it, but also loves it.
No, he 100% was the former.
Right. That's what I think.
It wasn't ironic enough.
It wasn't deeply ironic. It had to be deeply, like pure, uncut Colombian irony.
So Sean Lowe, everyone's favorite poster child of a successful bachelor, makes yet another appearance. Zach says his parents never fought and modeled what a perfect, healthy relationship looks like. Because apparently, if you fight, then your relationship is... I'm not saying that fighting all the time is good, but I found this was so like... Everything about Zach feels like 15 years ago.
Well, it feels like actually like 65 years ago.
You know what I mean? It's such a passe thing. It's like, oh, we never fight. We're a happy couple. That alone.
Well, it's all Stepford wives. He's just a Stepford wife bachelor.
Sean gives him pointers on how to rub his body in the shower.
No, very important.
This was their one attempt at sort of making fun of themselves.
Yeah.
It was the closest thing. I was like, do more of that. More of that.
Yeah.
That's the sort of paradise vibe. But this show, God, they're really stuck.
They're stuck.
Everything about this premiere felt stuck.
It's stuck in the mud. It's a proverbial car just spinning its wheels in icy mud.
Yeah, it's
and
like
it's more more you press on the gas, the more it spins. It just spins and spins and spins and gets deeper and deeper into that mud and ice.
Yeah. And meanwhile, the driver is like, but this has worked before.
Yeah, no, I just keep pressing on the gas and eventually it's going to go. I mean, that's what gas does. It makes the wheel turn and the wheel goes.
Yeah. Yeah. And usually that gets me out of the mud.
Yeah.
In the past, it has. It did for like 23 years.
You know what's going to happen to that car?
What?
It's going to run out of gas.
Ooh, Andy. So now we get a montage of women in their respective homes or at their respective viewing parties reacting to Zach's announcement as Bachelor.
No, just no.
No. Yeah, I didn't buy this because it felt like they were already playing their roles.
Well, that's the thing. They all talk about how much they're like, oh, I really wanted Zach. Like when I heard Zach, that was it. Like I'm here for Zach.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're here to be a contestant on a show. That's what that showed. That's all that showed to me. Well, they don't care about the lead.
That's a great point because usually it's like, I came here for you. If it hadn't have been you, I wouldn't have come. It's like they were already cast, first of all, that much is clear. But second of all, it also felt like they were already playing the role. It's like, oh, we have to seem super excited so that later on we can tell him that we came only for him.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't want to see how the sausage is made. I don't want to see how the sausage is made. No one does.
But that's the thing. It wasn't even real sausage making. It was fake sausage making. They were all acting.
It was fake sausage making.
I actually think in a way, this montage sets the tone for the entire premiere, which is to say there's a lot of this like performative behavior. It feels very acty.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, Zach, I'm the future Mrs. Shallcross. Like it feels so performative.
It feels scripted.
So we're refreshed now on the audience, having given the first impression rose, or the audience's first impression rose, to Brianna.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. And now we get our intro videos. So Bailey, we're reminded that Zach couldn't remember her name despite her very catchy catchphrase of
on the daily.
Yep. My issue with that catchphrase is that Bailey is not uncommon enough a name to require a catchphrase.
I mean, it's okay. I'm okay with it, but I respect your issue.
We have Catherine, a 26-year-old nurse from Tampa, Florida. I wrote front runner alert because she's stunning. That's all it takes.
Yeah, that's it.
We have Christina Mandrell, a 26-year-old content creator.
Creator of content. We need more of that.
More content needs creating.
Who's going to man the content machines?
I thought it was interesting, and I guess, we've seen this for a while now. It's not like Christina Mandrell is the first content creator we've seen with the title content creator. It was just interesting how that's now okay.
Yeah, that's a job.
There was a while where there was a denial about that.
That's a job.
She would have been a medical sales rep.
It's okay that that's now okay, but what's not okay is that it's okay that that's now okay.
I completely agree, and I followed you every step of that.
Wife.
We have Charity, 26, child and family therapist. She says, I literally love what I do.
See, now, okay. Now literally has no meaning anymore.
Yeah, there were a lot of literally.
Like you could say like, how are you doing? This is going to happen soon. 10 years. This is going to happen. You're going to say like, oh, like just a pleasantry, like, oh, how's it going? And you're like, I'm literally fine.
To me, even that literally feels passé. Everything
literally is not passé. Literally is very say.
Well, I guess what do I know? A bunch of mid-20s are using
Everyone literally is like
mid-20s.
Mid-20s. A bunch of these rotten mid-20 kids with their literallys and their content.
We have Greer, 24. Can I just say I love the name Greer?
I know a guy named Greer, comedian friend of mine.
Really?
And that's a great name for a guy. It's way better for a girl.
I think it is supposed to be a girl's name.
No, it's a guy's name. Greer is a guy's name.
Greer?
Yes. Greer?
Greer, I've only ever known of girls being named Greer.
You've known girls named Greer?
Well, I actually personally have never met a Greer, but I've heard and seen Greers.
I think you're talking shit. I don't think you know any Greers.
Greer is a girl's name.
Okay, fine. Tell me a Greer you know.
I can't think of any in this moment. You're just putting too much pressure
on. Give me a genre of where you know this Greer. Anything. Just give me anything. I'm talking shit.
I can't deal with the pressure. Anyway, she seems cute and spunky.
Yeah, I like Greer.
Brooklyn, 25, rodeo racer. Andy, you said, God, a rodeo girl named Brooklyn in Oklahoma.
Yeah, no audition needed.
Brianna shows up again, 24. She has her own beauty company, but she's also a model. And can I say what you said here?
I don't remember. But
you said, what are the odds Zach picks a black girl? 1 billion to 1.
Still better than Powerball.
It feels so patronizing.
Yeah.
Like they're the ones that need to make the change by really casting someone who actually might possibly choose, like actually pick and end up with a black contestant.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Instead of it being like this like rigmarole, which it is right now.
Yeah, America picked her. Mm-hmm. And I almost feel like that was a setup to be like, look, see? People are picking her. But he's not picking her.
It'll continue to be the same cycle.
Yeah.
Of them being tokens. Speaking of tokens, where the hell was the Asian representation in this?
Weak. And gone
didn't
like
make it.
No spoiler.
Yeah.
I mean, is there really a spoiler there?
No. We have Katie, 27, the ER nurse from Austin. She said, my last relationship cheated on me. There's a lot of weird spellings of names. Katie. Can't spell Katie normally now. It has to be
Kaity.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that's spelled like that, a similar word? Or is that just a made up?
I think that's just, you want to name your kid Katie, but you don't want to be like other Katies. You want to be like a cool Katie.
Right, but why?
No, that's a great question.
Katie is a good name.
But this is coming from Sharleen, spelled Sharleen. So.
You know what that's going to be like? Every single time for the rest of her life, when she's on with customer service, it's gonna be like, it's Katie, it's Kaity. Okay, ma'am, that's Katy. No, it's Kaity. Oh, that's Katie. No, it's Kaity. Every time for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
She's gonna spend a good 5% of the rest of her life explaining to customer service people that there's an I after the A in her name.
And so now we have our limo exits. I don't think we need to go through every single one of the 30 limo exits, but Andy, in keeping with tradition, we will do our limo exit wins and fails.
Oh, yes.
Do you want to start with wins?
I mean, I'll give a win, but there really wasn't a win.
No, these were really bad.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm expecting too much.
No.
What I want is either laughs or like some sort of
genuine interaction.
Yes, genuine. Yes, genuine. This is what I felt like.
I don't care if it's awkward. I don't care if it's boring. I just want it to be genuine, like it's a real interaction or it's a very good setup prop joke.
Yes.
And on the same lines, I give my winner to the pig. The pig wins. Henry wins.
So by proxy, you're giving your limo exit win to Mercedes, who grew up
technically speaking, but it's really the pig.
So I gave my limo exit win. This is totally predictable. To Gabby. She brought maple syrup because she's from Vermont and she made Zach drink it. Mm-hmm. And it says so much about sweet Zach Shallcross that he couldn't drink maple syrup. He was like, ooh.
Maple.
This is a man who gets table syrup on his pancakes at restaurants.
He loves table syrup. Loves it.
I mean, I was offended by this. I grew up in a house where we do drink maple syrup.
You've taught me the ways of maple syrup and I concur.
Seen the light. Oh, even that. He drank the maple syrup and he's like, mapley.
Mapley, yeah.
Like that was his attempt at humor.
It's not good.
He's just not funny. And I'm not saying he has to be like stand-up comedian level funny, but like Clayton looks like a stand-up comedian next to Zach. Like he was able to sort of like roll with the punches and he had good banter with the women. And I know it's very classic to look back and be like, well, the last Bachelor was this way. The last Bachelor was this way. But the more we watch Clayton, the more he really grew on us. And maybe that'll happen with Zach too.
Maybe.
But I was really hoping that in this premiere, we would watch it and be like, that's why they cast him beyond the way he looks.
To be fair to Zach, and I know we're ripping on him a lot, and we will continue to rip on said Zach, I think there's hope. I believe in him. I believe that he is having some first night jitters. He's going to shake off the nerves, and I think we're going to see something. I don't think that.
I do think he was having first night jitters, like his inability to really.
Clearly.
He was struggling to string sentences together.
It was pretty rough.
Yeah, it was. So your limo exit fail, Andy.
I gave it to what's her name? The party bus.
The content creator. Christina Mandrell. Interesting that she gets her full name.
Yeah.
Why?
Is that her real name? I feel like that's a stagey name. Sounds too good.
It does.
You know?
So she comes out in the big party bus.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to come out in a party bus, you got to bring something. Can't just be a bus. That's all there was.
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't mind this that much, just in that it actually broke up these rehearsed feeling like non-gimmick limo exits. But I agree. It was like, and then suddenly the door opens and she just like walks out.
If you shoot at the king, you can't miss.
Okay. So for me, my fail, and this might come as a surprise, but I really hated this. I made us rewatch it twice just so I could groan. Do you remember this?
Oh, that's right.
So Brianna... You
delighted in the deliciousness of how terrible it was.
I delighted in how much I hated this. Yeah. So she comes out
I agree.
And he's like, how does it feel to have that rose? And she's like, it feels great, but I'm not here for the roses. I'm here for your heart. And she did not say this with enough irony for this to be funny. No. If she'd said it with a bit of like a glint in her eye, like, I'm not here for the roses, I'm here for your heart, I would have loved it.
There were only two ways that it could have worked at all, and it was a stretch.
Yeah.
Is one, what you just said.
Yeah.
And two, if it wasn't rehearsed.
Yes.
Like if it just came out of nowhere, which is so unlikely. Yeah. But let's just say that were to happen.
Yeah. In general, Brianna gives this like...
Very rehearsed.
And look, I want to like Brianna, actually. Like there's nothing else. This moment though, I was just like, come on, girl.
No,
like
it's weak.
This felt passé. This felt like Bachelor 15 years ago. Something you would say coming out of the limo 15 years ago.
Yeah.
We're at the point where the only way you can deliver this line is ironically.
Absolutely.
In my opinion.
And there was not a shred of irony.
No. But I don't want to hate on Brianna too hard because she says something later that really won me over. So yeah. But I'm taking this case by case. In this case, I felt like my intelligence was insulted by her delivery of this line.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, which I have sensitivity to. In general, we thought these limo exits were brutal, uneventful, and blurred together in their boringness, I wrote. Jesse asks Zach now if he thinks he's met his wife. And Zach says, my gut instinct is telling me I might have.
Unreal. Even his gut is boring.
And non-committal. Yeah. I might have. Like, just say yes, dude.
Unbelievable.
Or can you imagine if he said no? I would love it if he was like,
Or just anything.
Anything. I might have. My gut is telling me I might have.
Gut. If I had a gut like that told me every time something was
a maybe
or possibly, I'd literally have to wear adult diapers 24/7.
Well, Andy, it's 2023.
It sure is.
New beginnings.
Yep.
Resolutions.
Yep. 3 or 4 more months until I start writing down 23 on checks.
That's true as well. And we're big fans of looking after yourself from the inside out.
That's right.
Caring about what you put in your body, nourishing your body. Yeah. And that's why we're big fans of Care Of.
It's for you. For you. And it's for me. It's not for us.
That's true.
That's what I like.
Yeah, their stuff is personalized, which I think really makes a difference, especially when you're ingesting things.
Vitamins should not be one size fits all. They simply are not. They need to be bespoke, and they give you a quiz that you take to ask you all sorts of questions about what issues you have.
Yeah.
And they make a vitamin for you.
Yeah.
And you. And you.
Yeah. And your lifestyle. And this matters because maybe you find that you're sluggish and maybe you're missing a key nutrient that would be really helpful. Yeah. And their vitamins are so fun. And let me tell you, because they come in individual packets.
They're cute.
So for me, I have a certain multivitamin, then I have an extra B12 and it's inside. And then there's like a little quote each day. And it's like, hey, Sharleen on it.
Well, every packet says Sharleen on it too.
No, I'm not kidding.
Or Andy, or your name.
Also, love to mention this. The packet itself is plant-based compostable film, so it's not just plastic.
Oh yeah, they're up to date. By the way, I am not, you know me, I'm not a gym guy.
No.
And I'm certainly not a protein powder guy.
Yeah, but
I got a big bucket of that Care of chocolate protein powder.
It's so good.
And full disclosure, this is a confession I'm not proud of. I've had that just to enjoy it.
This is the first I'm hearing of this.
No gym, no working out, just enjoyment.
I like to put it in the blender with some ice and a banana and almond milk. It's so good.
I sometimes throw a coffee and espresso in there.
Ooh. Anyway, they know what they're doing. Big fans.
Big fans.
Why did you make that dirty somehow?
I don't know.
So we have a very special deal for our audience, the Shandys. For 50% off your first order, go to takecareof.com and enter promo code Shandy50.
Again, for 50% off your first Care of order, go to takecareof.com and enter code Shandy50.
Well, Andy, we are on the road, clearly.
Yeah. Oh, man.
It's been a lot of traveling. And I think the one thing we probably miss the most about home, it's not the weather. It's not the food necessarily. It's our cozy earth sheets on our bed.
All night when I sleep here, I think about the roughness, the lack of cooling, the moisture developing upon my skin.
Yes.
And I think fondly, like it's like a airbrushed image in my mind of cozy earth sheets.
Oh, yeah. It's like soft focus.
Yeah. There's no sheet that compares.
Yeah. So in case you haven't heard us rave about Cozy Earth before, we're big fans because they are made with highly sustainable bamboo, which not only makes you feel good from like an environmental standpoint, but also they're insanely soft, yet also durable and also cooling. So you don't sweat as much at night, which is a massive game changer.
I've been moist and uncomfortable here. Sleeping cozy earth sheets has become something that I need to do. Like, I'm going to be like one of those celebrities that goes to a hotel and demands certain specific things. I'm going to be like, do they have cozy earth sheets?
Like those celebrities that are like, only the blue M&Ms.
Yeah. And the Shandys are sending us on a weekly basis messages about how much they love cozy earth.
Yes. People love cozy earth. It's not just us. So we have a very special deal for our audience, the Shandys. Save 35% now on Cozy Earth.
Hurry, this New Year's offer ends soon.
Go to cozyearth.com/Shandy and be sure to enter promo code Shandy at checkout to save 35%.
That's cozyearth.com/Shandy.
So Zach now enters the mansion and gives a toast to the women. He says he's just a dude who loves family, football, and frozen pizzas. Again, didn't this feel so rehearsed?
Yeah, well, it's 3 Fs. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt here.
What?
And I'm gonna really hope that he hasn't used that line before in his life.
That already, like, they're setting the stage for like what he is. Like, I'm just this down to earth guy. Like, how can we get that across? Like, I think he had help coming up with the speech.
Oh, so it's good.
Yeah,
good.
and it's
I'm
like
glad.
a producer was like, yeah, like you're just this regular guy. It's like this false, like, self-deprecation. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just a regular guy. It's like a regular guy has more adjectives to use to describe
maybe
himself.
a regular guy likes like brick oven pizza, like a decent human being. It's like an antiquated version of like this most American-y, American blue-blooded guy.
And
like,
the fact that he sat down and likely wrote down, I'm just a regular guy who loves family, football, and frozen pizza. It's extremely upsetting.
Can I tell you something? If I'm a woman, if I'm the average woman in America, what are 3 things I don't like to do with my husband? See his family, watch football, and eat shitty frozen pizza.
To me, it was the falseness of this. Like, to get back to the genuine feeling, this authentic feeling. This did not feel authentic. Even though it might be authentic that those things are things he loves, I don't buy him like coming up and being like, I'm just this guy. Like, this is just me.
No.
It's a little much. It's too heavy-handed. It's the show don't tell thing again.
It's just
Stop telling us how average you are.
It's becoming like Team America level.
Oh,
like it's almost
100%.
satire
Yeah,
at this point. I don't know what. Yeah. Family.
Fuck yeah.
Football.
Fuck yeah.
Frozen pizza.
Okay, the best part of his speech was a little bit of authenticity, or what felt like it. He says that, oh no, sorry, first. Sorry.
Yeah, there's more. And there's more.
There is more. If you order in the next 10 minutes, you get an addition to his speech, which is he's just looking for his forever best friend. This is like the same old, like, why is it that after a whole episode of this, we don't know anything more about Zach than we did before other than Versace?
Versace. That's it. That's all he's got. That's the hidden gem of Zach.
Okay, so this is the one bit where I was like, thank God. He says he values honesty above all else, and that's all he asks of them. He'll be honest with them, and later on we see with Madison, he really is that way. He wants them to be honest. I appreciate this. I think this is true. I think he should value that, and he should give that to them.
But all of these are base. They're canvas.
Yes.
It's like, I'm Andy. I love food, especially when I'm hungry. And when I'm tired, I love to sleep. Usually in a bed.
Usually, not always.
No, if I can get it.
Do you think it sounds like we're going too hard on him?
No, we're not going hard on Zach. We're going hard on Zach by proxy. We're going hard on the show.
Yes.
I want more. They can do better.
We've evolved past this.
I'm not dissing Zach. Zach, there's a million Zachs. There's maybe 10, 15, 20 million, maybe not more than 20 million.
Yeah, but not all of them have his dashing looks and that deep voice.
That's true.
Yes.
There's maybe 3 million Zachs in the country. Not his fault. I'm not dissing Zach. Zach's probably a good guy. If I hung out with Zach, I'd be like, good guy, Zach.
Yeah.
Like, good guy, that Zach. Mm-hmm. Not that fun, but good guy. But that's not the point.
Yeah.
It's not about Zach. It's about the show. Zach's not, actually, Zach did choose this. I'm not going to,
but
it's
no
not
one
totally
would say
not his fault. No, no one would say no.
I don't blame him.
No one would say no. Yeah. You're right. It's not Zach. Zach is being put in this situation by a show that's not letting him, first of all, that's picking someone who's really not good for a show like this.
Number he has one. No flavor.
No flavor. And it's not his fault. A lot of people have no flavor. They don't become the star of a reality TV show. Mm-hmm. Not his fault. We diss Zach through Zach, but we don't diss Zach himself.
We diss Zach through Zach. I would have loved to have seen a clip of him DJing. Do you know what I mean? Just something.
But I'm not...
Why do we know so little about him? Is it really that little to know? I don't believe it.
Maybe there's deep, dark secrets. Maybe Zach is actually like an ex-con.
Oh my God, I would love that.
He was a pimp.
I would love...
Yeah. He was a hustler and a pimp, and he was just a bad dude. And then he turned it around.
Yeah, he found God.
Jesus.
Obviously.
And went from Verzaki to Zach.
So you're saying that he started out as Verzaki?
Verzaki was the original Zach, yeah.
So notable one-on-one time. First up, even though we saw that as he left the group, he did seem to leave with another girl, but the first thing they showed was Catherine, which I think it makes her notable. Yeah. Beyond the fact that she's extremely conventionally beautiful. Yes. Catherine says it's very much outside her comfort zone to be there. She came at the last minute, she says. Catherine asks if Zach is goofy, and he assures her that he is indeed goofy. So now we have Katie. She asks Zach if this is difficult. He says yes. She says she feels so lucky. He says that's great. She says it's a great feeling. And he says, yes, it is indeed a great feeling. And then they kiss. And then it ends with, you're a great kisser. You're a great kisser.
And scene.
We have Christina Mandrell. She has Christina's compatibility questionnaire. She says mountains or beach. He says beach. She says mountains. Yeah. I mean, we're on her side in that.
Yeah, definitely.
Mountains
definitely
beat beach.
Definitely.
Yeah, beach once in a while, but mountains, like if you had to live in one.
I mean, yeah, if it's a really nice swimming beach, get some good little waves going, that's nice. Yeah. But just like being on a beach, I never understood that. You're just cooking. It's so hot.
I can only last 10 minutes. Okay, so now she says dinosaurs or dragons. Okay, actually, let's do it right now. Dinosaurs or dragons, we're going to say 1, 2, 3, say the thing.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, dinosaurs.
This is obviously that.
Well, because dinosaurs exist.
They exist. I'm going to take something that's very similar to a dinosaur that never existed over a thing that's very similar to a dragon that actually existed and ruled the earth for 250 million years.
I mean, it is a great question. It's a cute, conversation starter. And he's just like, what kind of question is this? He doesn't see the humor in this. She's making it so easy for him. Okay, so now the other ladies join on the party bus, and it's basically a club scene, which cuts to commercial. I'll do my bop.
I remember breath. Sorry, that was good though.
I love that, and you're so good at that.
Hyperventilating.
So now we have Kat. One-on-one time. They compete to see how many meatballs they can fit in each other's mouths. I thought this was,
it was fun.
Once again.
I like this.
Yeah. I mean, it's something. Yeah. This is how low the bar is. Yeah. Andy, you said at least they're not wasting food. Yeah. Until almost. Zach spit it out. Yeah. She seemed to eat her meatballs.
Yeah, no, she ate it.
Yeah. Okay, and now we have Brianna. Brianna says, I guess she made an effort to talk to him. Mm-hmm. And by made an effort, she spoke to a producer who arranged time and made sure she was in the queue and whatever. She was a high enough priority for her to get time. Oh, yeah. She says, I didn't want you to think that because I have a rose, I wouldn't make an effort. Well, Zach says, I appreciate that. And then she says, who is Zach? And he proceeds to answer in the third person.
That's a great question. That's what the byline of this whole season should be.
Yeah.
The Bachelor.
Who is Zach? At least this premiere. Because I still don't know.
No one knows.
It's a mystery.
Just Verzaki. You know what it's like? It's like one of those like thrillers where all you know about the object of the thriller is this old, sort of worn, yellowed, cornered picture.
Yeah.
Of some guy, and you're like, who is that guy?
Yes. This is the
everyone's
one clue.
asking about him.
It's like when we do an escape room and we just have this one clue and it's all revolving around that clue. Versaki.
You know what this season should be called? Searching for Versaki.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Let's stick with that.
Yeah.
Because I think that there might be some Versaki to be found. Okay, so Zach answers in the third person. See, this is what hurts me. Like, if someone were to ask you who you are, if someone's like, who is Andy? I recognize that that's actually a difficult question to answer. It's hard to answer about yourself, but you would tell a little bit about your life, your perspective.
It's very easy.
Maybe if you're, what you believe in. Things that identify you.
I would assume that most people, if given the stage to talk about themselves, they would talk too much.
Or if they are uncomfortable talking about themselves, they would at least pick a few defining things that make them stand out.
Yeah, like why
am I
family,
not like
football, and frozen pizza.
Yes.
He could have said that.
And this is his answer. Zach is just a regular dude who lives in Austin and who really does want to find his forever person. He's like a robot.
He's you know what he is? He's a weak version of Chat GPT.
It's like if ChatGPT was like in the beginning stages. It
It's
was
like
the first
you know what
version.
it's like? It's like ChatGPT from the AOL stage. From like it's like 97 ChatGPT.
Yes.
It's like, what does a car look like? It has 4 wheels and it's made of metal.
Once again, regular dude. I'm just this average guy.
Just a regular guy.
From Austin.
We
get
definitely
it.
know he's an average guy.
Yeah, and we
don't
definitely
need to
know
know
by
that.
now that he's from Austin.
We definitely know that.
And now, one of the defining features, regular dude from Austin who really does want to find his forever person. What is it about you? What do you have to offer?
So,
what makes you different from the next person? Why is the only thing there is to say about yourself the fact that you want to find someone?
Has he been told to do this? Is he like, are they like, look, don't tell them about anything. Don't tell them about your hustling days, your days on the street, your days pimping. Just tell them the most boring shit. It's like they had a coaching. They're like, listen, I'm sorry to say this, but this is who you are. You're the boring, white, good-looking American guy. And this is, and they gave him questions. They're like, okay, here's the test. Ready? Who's Zach? Regular guy. Lives in Austin. Frozen pizza. Family. Football. Regular guy. Austin. Likes partners.
My favorite part was the repeat.
Yeah.
It's like family. Okay, but before we move on from this, Brianna does call Zach out here for speaking in the third person.
She does. Good for her.
Yes.
She gets big points.
This won me over with her.
She's a human.
Okay, so now Jesse brings out the first impression rose, which of course leads to the women all spinning their wheels, hoping to get time, stressing out about the time. There's no more time. I haven't had time with him. He talks to Genevieve. There's not much happens here. They change a fake baby's diaper. Okay, so now Greer.
He's good at that.
He is good at that. Yeah, it's very on brand, actually.
right?
Yeah, he's like, look how ready I am. I'm ready. Family, football,
Changing diapers.
looking for my best friend.
Changing diapers.
Fuck yeah. Okay, so Greer now. She says his speech really resonated with her. So
That's it. I wonder what she'd think about JFK's speeches. The only thing we have to fear is family, football, and
frozen
pizza.
Okay, she says her parents and grandparents are all still together. Yeah, all happily married, still together.
That's great. I mean, that's a test. That's a big deal in America, right? It's like 50% of marriages end eventually. Something like that. Is that bullshit stat?
Apparently, yeah. When we said that once on the podcast, someone said that's actually false.
Right.
It's less than 50%.
It's less, but it's not enormously less than 50%.
Yeah. It's catchy. It's catchier to say 50%.
And if it is 50%, she's got 2 sets of grandparents and one set of parents. So that's 2 times 2 times 2. That's 8 to 1 odds that they'd all be together.
She says that when she was little, she made a PowerPoint presentation for her family about why they should move to Austin.
That's cute.
That is cute.
Super cute.
It's also too specific a lie. Like I think she actually
she definitely did that. I did the same thing when I was a kid. I did similar things. Not exactly. We didn't have PowerPoint back then, but I liked flying a kite, fishing, and I liked playing catch with a baseball. So on a Saturday morning, I would write on a piece of paper like 3 boxes, and I would say fishing, flying a kite, and catch, and I'd have boxes, and I'd say at the top, check 1, and I'd leave it by my dad's nightstand when he was sleeping, so he'd wake up and see it.
Oh my God, that's so cute. So you'd like check it, like check a box.
Yeah. And then I would be like, did you do it? If he checked the box, we'd do the thing. But there's a chance that I would give that to him and he'd be like, nah, there's no.
I mean,
no
fishing
boxes.
is a pretty tall order. I mean, from the Upper East Side.
It's very sad. It's just extremely sad. We used to go fishing in Central Park in the lake.
Oh.
The lake. And there really were no fish in the lake.
Oh, no.
I think he was just lying to me a lot about that. But like there were like these crayfish, these sort of like tiny little lobster guys.
Yeah.
And you couldn't catch them with a hook. They're not that dumb.
No.
But there would be crayfish. So I'd be like, well, there are living things in this lake, so there have to be fish. I'm telling you, we went fishing there. Like it must have been like 20, 30 times. I never caught a fish. I never even got a bite.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I always dreamed.
But you did check the box.
You checked the box.
There is something about fishing when you're little.
Yeah, I loved fishing.
I was really into fishing too.
I caught one fish in my whole life. I was at summer camp. And I caught a fish and it was amazing. And I never forgot it. I was like, this is great. I want to do this all the time. And that was the last fish I ever caught. And as a matter of fact, the next time I had a catching incident, some idiot on the dock cast away and the hook hit me in the cheek and ripped the actual fishing wire. So I was left with a hook and a worm right into my cheek, barbed hook. And I had to go to the emergency room in Vermont.
Oh.
And I had to go in there and they had to rip this hook out of my cheek.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I've had a lot of bad experiences with fishing.
Oh my God. So did you have a scar?
Yeah, I had a little tiny, I think under my beard, you can still kind of see it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's like something from a sitcom.
I'll never forget the feeling like of getting slapped in the face, because you don't feel things like that. It's too fast and too sharp. But then with my tongue, I felt inside my cheek a worm and a metal hook.
Oh!
I'll never forget that feeling. Horrible.
I don't know what's worse. They're both horrible in their own way.
I thought the worm was part of my cheek. I immediately...
Oh, no!
Yeah. I was like, oh, this ripped me apart. And I thought it was my cheek. But then I realized it was a worm.
Oh, it's moving. Oh, my God. Okay, can we move on? We don't want to do this to our Shandys. Yeah. I can't believe I've never heard this
You've never heard that story?
No.
Yeah.
She says, the end goal has always been Austin. Ding, ding, ding. They seem to be vibing very well. And finally he says, I kind of want to kiss you. Is that okay? But I will say their kiss, they seem to have the best kissing chemistry, him and Greer.
Yeah, definitely.
Because they make out enough for everyone to notice, of course.
He likes it. He stays. He stays in it.
Yeah.
He doesn't just
pull
come in
a Madison or pull a Zach with a Madison.
Right.
Oh, okay, so speaking of Madison.
Oh, dear.
She brings him things from Fargo, North Dakota, because it's cold there. So we're talking a blanket, hat. Yeah. And there's lots of clownish music. Poor Madison. Lots of her talking about how she wants to kiss him. So now they break away. Olivia M is now talking to him. Olivia M's sole purpose in this premiere is to be interrupted by Madison as she speaks with Zach a second time. So Madison, take 2, she basically forces him to kiss her. She's got her hand around his neck and they're like laughing and she's like, come here. Gosh. And we agree that she seems wasted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, by the way, we cannot forget is encouraged. You know, they're all sitting around waiting. There's nothing to do. Yeah, the alcohol's flowing. It's like, calm your nerves. Look what we have over here. Open bar. And this, of course, spirals now into her melting down and crying about wanting to be wanted and being embarrassed.
Wow. Oof,
I wrote night 1 cardinal rule, don't drink too much.
You always say that. You're right.
Okay, so now he talks to Charity. And she's like, do you remember my name? And he's like, of course I remember your name. He says, it's real hard to forget a name like Charity. I was thinking like, it's real hard to forget like your name or like a name belonging to such a beautiful woman or something like that. It's just like real hard to forget a name like Charity. Got it.
Yep.
It's just so literal.
Check.
Everything is so like in front of you.
It really, really is. It was like, remember we were watching that show with Hemsworth. Was it Chris Hemsworth?
Yes.
Chris Hemsworth.
Oh my God, this is such a good comparison.
Thank you.
It's wow. We were marveling. First of all, we did enjoy that show for a little while.
It's a good show.
Then we lost interest.
It's one of those shows that's good until it's not good.
Yeah. We were marveling at his sense of humor.
Yeah.
And how it was so literal. It was just like, I'm going to be just sarcastic. I'm just going to say the opposite of how I feel.
The opposite of everything he feels every single time.
Yeah.
And he delivers it well because he's an actor.
Zach is even less, like, at least with Chris Hemsworth,
Well,
it was
he
just
was making
always
jokes.
It was always opposite day. It was always like, I feel the opposite of this and that's my joke.
Yeah, he did like a 2-minute swim in like 25-degree water.
Yeah.
And afterwards they're like, how was that? Well, it definitely wasn't cold. So it was cold.
Yeah, but so Zach would get out and be like, well, it was cold.
Yeah. Well, that certainly was cold. Got it.
So she shares her background now about being a therapist to children dealing with trauma, which is very impressive. He says his mother is a special needs teacher. They bond over this. Yeah. Once again, he says, I'd like to kiss you if that's okay.
If that's okay.
And Andy, you said so much liking to kiss someone.
Okay,
so now we have one-on-one time with Jess. Music stops for this conversation, and they basically talk about being nervous and finding each other cute. She goes in for the kiss, so he doesn't need to ask.
Yeah, wow.
Okay, so now Zach comes into the main room looking for the first impression rose, and he pulls Greer.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually excited by this choice.
Yeah, it's a
this
good
was
call.
the one thing that I was like, yes.
Yeah. Maybe this is the seed. Maybe this is just the beginning of where we're like, you know what? There is a Zach.
There is a Versace.
The Versace will be found.
This was a glimpse.
This is the cliffhanger. This is a season 1, episode 1 cliffhanger. It's like he picked Greer.
Versace?
And then you show the photo again. He's looking at the photo and he's like, credits.
So Greer says she's flattered and she felt the zing with him. And he says it was one of the easiest conversations and he can't wait to get to know her more.
Did she feel the verzing? Oh no, didn't work.
The verzing. So I have this slight theory.
Yeah.
That Zach needs like a little spice because he is so vanilla. He needs flavor. And Greer has plenty of flavor.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
He needs some spice. You know what he is? He's white rice. And he needs like that, that umami sauce.
The
on
brown
rice.
sauce. He says it was one of the easiest conversations because she made it easy for him. If you go back and watch that conversation, she's doing all the work.
She's doing all the work.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yep.
The heavy lifting. He's just sitting there having a cigarette. She's building the whole house.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's good. Put that girder over there and then the wood. Yeah, that's good. So,
Andy,
I've been making a lot of soil recently.
You know what's funny? This is our first Lomi ad of 2023, and I can tell you're excited.
I'm literally looking at I'm like shaking. No, but seriously, Lomi for me is like a pet. It even has a pet name. It's cute. Look at it. It's so cute.
Yeah.
I mean, I find it adorable. It's working all the time for us. It asks for nothing. We just give it garbage and we get such beautiful soil in return.
Yeah.
And it's like a person who has a pet. You know, when people talk about their pet, you're like, okay, I get it. You love your pet. I feel like I talk about Lomi like that. I found myself talking about my Lomi to people who are like, you're really going too far. It's enough. We get it. You like your Lomi.
Okay. So I'm just going to put a pin in that so I can tell people what the Lomi is.
Oh, sorry. See?
So the Lomi is a countertop electric composter that turns your food scraps and food waste into soil in as little as 4 hours, by the way. That's crazy too. I mean, if you actually think about that, that's insane.
It's nuts.
I cannot stress enough what a difference this has made in our household. It has made a difference in how many garbage bags exit our house, in how heavy they are, how much they smell.
Juicy they are.
How juicy.
I don't want a juicy garbage bag. I want a juicy nectarine or a peach.
Yeah.
And you can put so many things in there.
All the food. So this is leftovers that we don't eat, or let's say you're cutting a pepper and you've got the parts that you wouldn't eat. All of that stuff goes directly into our Lomi, which is sitting on the countertop right over there.
Yep.
And then when it's full, we press a button and it just goes to work like magic. And from an environmental standpoint, that food, the scraps, the leftovers, whatever you weren't going to use, would normally end up in your garbage and then over time turn into methane, which is a very harmful greenhouse gas.
Yes.
So you are taking something that would have been bad for the environment and turning it into something literally good for the environment. I mean, what's better than soil?
Soil. Soil.
So if you want to make a positive environmental impact or just make post-dinner cleanup that much easier, Lomi is perfect for you. Head to lomi.com/Shandy and enter promo code Shandy to get $50 off your Lomi.
Again, that's $50 off when you go to Lomi, LOMI.com/Shandy and use promo code Shandy at checkout.
Food waste is gross. Let Lomi save you a cold trip out to the garbage can. Well, Andy, being on the road is kind of limiting.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have all your kitchen supplies, all your oils and
But you also
seasonings.
aren't familiar with the restaurants in the area.
Yeah.
You just don't know.
Or let's say you are, but you don't want to eat out every meal because that really adds up over time.
And you know what HelloFresh does? HelloFresh brings home to the road.
Oh, yes. And worth noting, we are in Edmonton right now, aka we're in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Guess where HelloFresh also is? So we have HelloFresh in the fridge right now, which is a game changer because all you really need is olive oil, butter
and salt.
sometimes, salt, and then you can make delicious, healthy, and really convenient meals at home so you're not eating out every damn meal.
I wish I had this when I was younger. I wish I had HelloFresh because number one, I would have saved money. Number two, I would have learned how to cook.
Yes.
And number three, I would have eaten healthier.
I find the learning how to cook thing is huge.
Huge.
It has bestowed us with skills that last well beyond that one HelloFresh box.
I know how to make a sauce. I know how to sauce.
A seasoning, a dressing.
A dressing. I know how to mix things where I never think that doesn't mix with that. I know how to use breadcrumbs now. I thought breadcrumbs were just in a Caesar salad.
One of my favorite things is the timing. I find HelloFresh really teaches me how to time what gets cooked when, so that you cook things at different times and then they're all ready at the same time. And when we're traveling, all we do is just change our address. So it's been shipped here at this Airbnb.
Canadian Airbnb.
Yeah. Amazing. So go to HelloFresh.com/Shandy21 and use code Shandy21. That's 21 to get 21 free meals plus free shipping.
Again, that's HelloFresh.com/Shandy21 and use code Shandy21 for 21 free meals plus free shipping.
Meanwhile, Madison is melting down more. She seems to have thought that she might have gotten. I couldn't tell if this was an edit or not, because why was she talking about being embarrassed and then also thinking she might have gotten it? Like, which one is it? I think this might have been edit. Then Jesse and Zach talking from the mansion. Jesse asks Zach, how scared are you that you might send home the wrong person?
Hold on, let me guess. Give me a multiple choice.
Okay, his answer is either A, terrified, B, I'm not worried, C, a lot.
Oh, you see, that was a tell.
Why?
Yeah, I know it's a lot.
Why?
I know it's a lot. I already know it's a lot.
Yeah, why are you pretending you don't
That's true.
know?
I didn't know where this was going. I realized in the middle.
Why did you do that to me? That was so much extra work.
That was mean.
I didn't.
But I wanted you to really internalize what was going on there with that. A lot.
How scared are you that you might send home the wrong person?
A lot. You know what Chris Hemsworth would have said? Oh, I'm not scared at all.
Yeah, but he'd be like, I'm not scared at all.
No, he'd be like, no fear at all here. Oh.
Madison interrupts. She says she doesn't want to force things and wants to make sure he wants her on this journey. I love that she did this, by the way.
Me too.
What's this going to look like in 3 weeks? You know, with the producers peppering her and clearly pulling all her strings and doing whatever they can to make her melt down as much as possible. So he says he never wants to lie and his heart wasn't feeling it. He doesn't want to put her through that. He watches her walk away now for the longest time. And I swear they inserted some voiceover of her crying early because she was walking normally and they were like, it didn't make sense.
Timed right.
And as she melts down, she can't get a single word out except for literally.
That's the most 2022 thing I've ever seen. Like, literally.
She says, I cannot believe I gave up my life for him.
Gave her life. There's got to be a song about Madison. Has to be.
I mean, that sounds like a lyric if I've ever heard it.
I gave up everything. Madison. What does she do? What does she do in North Dakota? She's a business owner.
Business owner in North Dakota.
So Madison is a business owner in North Dakota. She gave up everything to go on The Bachelor. She came on way too heavy on night one. Especially since she gave up everything, and that's a ton. But I doubt that she really gave up everything. I really doubt it was everything. Madison's a business owner from North Dakota. Madison's a business owner from North Dakota.
Oh, is it a fade out?
Madison's a business owner from North Dakota.
No, if you do one more verse, people complain about you singing too much.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Sorry.
So we had to point out that, I mean, I don't think anyone missed this. Is this worth pointing out? She's crying. It's dark. Then we cut to the rose ceremony. It's bright. And then we cut now to her crying more and it's dusk. So
how long was she crying for?
That's the question. How long did the powers that be force her to do an ITM, force her to cry, force her to sit there waiting for a ride out, force her to how long were they just filming her wailing? So now we have a rose ceremony. I don't think I need to list all 18 women who, in addition to Brianna and Greer, are sticking around.
Yeah.
But going home are Becca, Cara, didn't really get to know either of them, Holland. We vaguely remember.
Holland. We got the good. It was actually a decent.
I'm surprised she didn't get your limo exit win. That was actually pretty good. You were in the wrong Holland.
I just like the pig so much. Henry was cute. But yeah, you were in the
that was-
wrong Holland.
yeah.
That was all right.
That
But
was
it was a little, it was kind of like a low-hanging fruit sex joke. But it's
was
okay, which I'm okay with.
it was leagues ahead of the other
It was
jokes.
leagues ahead.
Yes.
She deserved more.
Leica, Olivia L, Olivia M, Sonia, Vanessa, and Victoria E, and of course Madison already left. So that leaves 20 moving in. And now we have our credits. Christina, Brooklyn, and Kat are talking about doing Kegels.
Yeah.
And I said to you, Andy, at this point, I turned to you and said, this is why the three of them are sticking around.
I believe it.
Okay, so that brings us, Andy, to our A game, because that's the end of the episode.
I'm going to give it to it's funny, but she has such a cool name, but I always forget it.
Christina?
Yeah, what's her last name?
Mandrell.
I got to remember that. Christina Mandrell. Christina, she's going to be in play a lot. So
Yeah.
Christina Mandrell.
It's worth memorizing her name. She's
It
going to
is.
last. Okay, mark my words. Christina Mandrell will last. I'm going to give it episode 5.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's 5 or 6.
serving a
I agree with
purpose.
that. You know what Christina Mandrell is? It's whenever you hear it's like a cruise ship or like some before a boxing match, like the national anthem or something.
Yeah.
International recording artist Christina Mandrell.
Oh, yeah.
Does that not sound right?
Totally, yeah.
She's got to start
She's got
singing.
a stage name.
She's got to sing.
Well, she's too busy creating content.
So much content.
Okay.
So much content. So much content. So much content to create. Was that as good as
Things are getting weird. Things are getting weird. Okay.
Madison
So
is a business owner in South Dakota. I like that better.
Okay. So Christina Mandrell gets your A game.
She
because
does
of her
because of her card thing.
Yeah.
Because she said, you know what? This guy needs a little help. Here you go. I'm going to spoon feed it to you, and it's going to be cute, and I'm going to self-deprecate because my art is terrible.
Yeah.
It's all going to be great.
Yeah.
And we're going to be in the party bus. It's
Yeah.
like she couldn't have done anything better there.
I find it interesting that your limo exit fail went to the same person who got your A game.
No bias.
Yeah.
I giveth and I taketh.
Here you do. Okay. So now word watch, Andy. We thought about making the word literally, but you decided not to be so cruel
Not so
to me.
mean. I
So
love you.
instead, the words are
Best friend.
best friend. What Zach is looking for. So if you would like to join in the Shandy Word Watch fun and have a chance to win $100 to one of my all-time favorite Etsy shops, Furano Studio, you have seen me wear her jewelry countless times now. Literally every ring I wear is from her. They are fantastic gold-filled and gold-plated jewelry. Then you can enter by commenting either below this YouTube video or over on the Instagram post for this recap, the number of times you predict the words best friend, not best friends, just best friend will be uttered. And you must do so by this Friday at midnight. And if you guess correctly, you will be entered in a draw and we will draw one name and that person will win the grand prize. And we will announce that next week. Okay, so Andy, that brings us finally to our predictions. So who do you have in your first place?
Greer.
Okay.
I think if anyone knows their first impression, it's Versace.
So I also have Greer in my first place.
Nice.
And the reason why, beyond the fact that she got the first impression rose, which is obvious, and the fact that we think that he needs a little spice and Greer has that.
Yeah.
You know, she's the sauce on the white rice.
The hoisin.
Why do people say Hoisin? It's Hoisin.
Hoisin?
It's with an I. In terms of airtime, Greer really had that sweet spot of being a potential winner.
Yeah.
You didn't really see a ton of her outside of her direct interactions with him. She had the intro video, but it wasn't like she was giving a ton of commentary or reactions. She wasn't like, you didn't see, and in the previews, this was key. Greer, you would think, would at least get one shot of her crying, kissing, nothing.
Nothing. And that is another Bachelor franchise formula.
It is.
They don't show the one who wins. Mm-hmm. So you're like, ooh, well, we don't see this person. They can't possibly win.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on, Andy, who do you have in your second spot?
The beautiful Kathleen.
It's Catherine.
Kathleen?
It's Catherine.
Kathleen.
Just Catherine. I also have Catherine in my second spot. And the main reason, once again, is her looks.
She's hot.
She's got the look.
She's a hot white broad.
She's got the looks. Zach mentioned her beauty more than once.
More than once.
And also from the previews, we didn't see a ton. We saw a bit of her like, oh, does he miss me as much as I miss him? That kind of thing. But it was not a ton.
Not a lot of preview.
So we think Catherine is going very far. Okay, so in your third spot, Andy, this is where we start to veer off from each other. Who do you have?
I've got Charity.
Okay.
And I'm going to say it. I know he's not going to pick her, and we all know. I'm not going to talk about why.
Yeah.
But she seems great.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of Charity.
Big fan.
And I think they have a rapport, even though I don't think it has legs. But I believe strongly that not only is she my third pick, but I believe she will end up third in the rotation. She will be the third person.
Okay.
That's how formulaic I think it's become.
I'm a big Charity fan too. I don't have her in my third
spot.
spot.
You like Charity?
Can't forget a name like Charity. But I really liked her. She just had this authentic but still modest vibe. Like even in her ITM when she was talking about wanting, she's like, oh, I hope I get the rose. But there's a lot of beautiful girls here. Like, I don't know. Like there was like this element of just like,
you know what it is? Genuine. She's genuine. She was nervous, clearly nervous. Like she was fidgety and nervous.
Not so nervous that she's like, I'm so nervous.
No, she didn't talk about being nervous. She just was nervous. Clearly she was like a little nervous, but also everything she was saying was genuine.
Mm-hmm. In my third spot, however, I have Jess. Jess, I think, has the look that he would go for. He talked about how gorgeous he thought she was. The preview of her crying, saying, I really want a one-on-one. There's, it could get a little meta where you're like, oh, that was thrown in there to make us think that she is struggling. He doesn't pay attention to her, blah, blah, blah. But it made me think that maybe it was throwing us off the scent. She has that sort of like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing here vibe.
Yeah.
Which,
Babe in the Woods.
Yeah, she's got the Babe in the Woods vibe, which I think actually could lead to her leaving. I think there's a chance Jess might leave. I
totally agree. She's going to be a dramatic leaving thing.
Something like that. But the reason I don't have her closer to the top, even though third is pretty good, is I don't think she's got the Greer-like zing.
No, she's young. She seems like a kid.
Yeah, she has a real young, even though Greer's only a year older.
But Jess seems young. She seems like she's not. She's sort of just a little wet behind the ears.
Yeah. That's the vibe anyway. Okay, so in your fourth spot.
Kaite.
Okay, so you have Katie in your fourth spot. Yes. Do you want to explain why?
This is what I'll say about Katie. I didn't see Katie being a front runner, but the connection they had, this is the only one I'm basing off purely really the special connection that I saw.
Yeah.
I saw them have something. And I didn't expect that. He would seem to really like her. Yeah. There seemed to be a connection there. And so I'm throwing her in the top 4.
Okay, so in my fourth spot, I have Charity. I think Charity will go very far.
Yeah, me too.
I agree. I don't think he's going to pick her, which is a shame because I would love it if he picked Charity.
Can you imagine?
Oh my God.
That would be when you find Verzaki. Yeah, like, was it worth it? The whole season was worth it.
Oh my God, I would love nothing more than to be wrong in that way. Oh,
agreed.
So Andy, who is your wild card?
I'll throw Jess in there.
Okay.
Yeah, why not?
I have as my wild card Ariel.
Whoa.
I know. I mean, a wild card is a wild card.
Ariel.
Yeah. Do you need to be refreshed who Ariel is? Shall I get the paper?
I do need to be refreshed.
Okay, so Ariel is the marketing executive.
Ooh, that's
New York
City. Lot of marketing.
She had a nice voice. I liked her voice.
I did too.
I liked her eyebrows.
Now that I look at this, I respect your wild card. You know what's interesting? Neither of us picked Bailey.
Yeah, I think Bailey's a red herring.
I think it's a red herring.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, I just, in the same way, they put so much emphasis on the 5 women who met him first. Like, they just needed something to talk about night one. It's like, the advantage these women have. Like,
and I think it's symbolic that he couldn't remember her name the first time. And he had the mnemonic. It was on the daily. It's Bailey or whatever.
Mnemonic, good word.
That's, by the way, the best word I've used all month. I'm going to recognize that. It's like a phenomenal word. Anyway, my point is he didn't remember her name.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal. If I met a girl, when I was a kid and I met a girl like a camp or something and I was like, I'm into that girl, there's one thing I did not forget was her name ever. From the minute I saw her, I was like, that's that girl.
Okay.
And I think that's the tell. I think he
did kiss her when she worked at the Limo.
That's the same kiss I gave my mother the last time I saw her. Okay. That's what I was like, I'll see you soon. That's the kiss I gave her. Okay. Same thing.
Okay. Another person missing is Brianna from both of our lists.
But let's be honest.
I don't see it.
America chose her, but does Zach choose her?
Yeah. Actually, even that, painting Brianna's like having this big leg up and all the girls like being jealous of her rose, but that directly contradicts their narrative that they're always trying to spew, which is that it's not about the roses. It's about your connection with Zach. That is if there's one thing to symbolize not having a connection with Zach, it's getting a rose given by America.
It's like where Elon Musk did the Twitter poll, where he's like, should I be CEO of Twitter or should I not? And they were like, no, you shouldn't be. And he was like, well, let's think about this. I'm not sure I believe in polls. He literally said, that's literally what happened. I'm not kidding. What the hell does that mean that America picked her? What does that mean? That's nothing.
It was a popularity contest. And what it really did was drive home the competition aspect. It's like, oh, she's safe for the first round. But you're not supposed to see it as a competition, remember?
Every single thing about that is wrong.
Yes.
Everything.
Yeah.
You could write a short book about how wrong that was.
All right, Andy, that is a wrap.
That's it.
For this.
That's it.
Isn't it amazing how much we can talk about
something so nothing?
A great talent.
Let's try this. Okay, ready? Let's talk about that wall right behind you.
Well, I don't love the color, if I'm honest.
But you know what's interesting? That's not white. That wall's not even close to white.
No, it's nowhere close to white, but I really wish it made more of a decision. You know what it is? It's like tinted in the direction of like vomit.
I agree. You know what? Someone was like, let's go vomit. And then someone else was like, you know what? Let's not go vomit.
Yeah, it's too far to go vomit.
Too far.
Well, it's like if it's the color swatch thing, it's the lightest shade of vomit.
You're right, the lightest shade of vomit.
Yeah.
They're like, this is like the most subtle. It's like vomite.
Yeah.
It's an homage to vomit. It's an homage to vomit.
Yeah.
That wall was painted with hatred.
Yes.
It was. It was painted with hatred. It was hatred wouldn't be pure vomit, but that's obvious. Yeah. It's like a joke. They're like, oh, look, it's a vomit colored wall. That's funny. That guy gave me enjoyment by being funny.
Yes.
No, he's like, I'm going to give you the least amount of vomit so you can't laugh about it, but you can also be upset that your walls are colored vomit.
This paint color was chosen by someone who's putting no love into the space.
And it's very thematic. There's no love here. None.
No.
Not in the silverware, in the kitchen appliances, in the furniture, in the arrangement of the furniture, the lighting. Are you kidding? They've got cool and warm lights, and one of them's not working. There's 3 of them. One of them's not working.
Basically, this really does sum up the whole place, but it's chosen by someone who both there's no love and also who has no taste.
Agreed. Okay. And there you have it.
And scene.
That's why we can recap the show.
If you enjoyed what you heard today, you know what we will ask of you, and that is to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It's right there. Doesn't take a lot of work. The subscribe button's right there. Yes. Also doesn't take a lot of work. Yeah. It's red. It's red. I mean, how can you miss a red button?
No, red buttons. I love hitting red buttons.
I know.
Even when you're not supposed to. Red buttons shouldn't be colored red.
No.
They should be colored like multicolored. So you're like a multicolored. You don't touch a multicolored button.
Follow us on Instagram and
TikTok.
Leave us Apple and
Spotify
podcast ratings and reviews, and generally do tell your friends.
Tell your friends.
And generally do all the things that you would do to support a podcast you enjoy. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time here on Dear Shandy for some more recapping. Bye-bye. Dear Shandy.